Baba says that we have been wandering for the last 2 ages, and you say that why do we wander? So if you're given a wrong address of everything, then you will wander. Yes, you are wanting something, seeking something, and then somebody just gives you a wrong address, and then you keep wandering, and that wandering is endless, because every time you're looking in the wrong place and you believe that if somebody has told you that this is where you'll find it, and everybody is telling you that's where you'll find it, then you think that maybe I'm not looking well enough. That's why I'm not finding it. But it must be there. But the truth is that you've been given a wrong address. And then even if you look for the right thing in the wrong place for 2500 years, you only get tired, you don't find it. And that's the difference between Ravan Mat and Shrimat. So what does Ravan do? Ravan gives us a wrong address of everything. So Ravan tells you that you want to find God. God is in pebbles and stones and He's everywhere. And then Ravan doesn't tell you the only place where God is. So Baba is in the soul world. But then Ravan tells us, no, he is there in this world, in this impure world. And then Ravan tells you that he is everywhere. And then Ravan tells you that he looks like a man or a woman. And then he is, his qualities also are said differently. And then we keep looking for Baba everywhere. And the whole of, Dwapar Yug, Kali Yug is not enough for us to find Baba, because we are looking in the wrong place. And if you look at it, it's the same for everything. It's the same for happiness, love, peace, power. So Ravan just misguides us. And Ravan tells you that, in order to find love, somebody has to love you. Yes, and then we keep doing everything that we are taught, being a good mother, good daughter, good son, good wife, good brother, husband, colleague, so that somebody would say, I love you, but then they don't. And even if they say, they don't mean it. And even if they mean it, they don't mean it always. And then you think that, there is some problem with me, that they don't love me. And then you keep trying to correct it over and over again. But then you're looking in the wrong place. You're looking for love from someone who is also looking for love. They are not looking to give love. They are also looking to beg for love. So you two beggars begging from each other. Then how can you get love? So that's what's happening. So Ravan gives us a wrong address. And then when Baba comes, Baba just tells you the truth, that I'm not where you have been looking for me. So Baba says, I've come here, I'm sitting in the body of Brahma Baba for you, and I'm speaking the Murli to you, and I'm speaking the truth so that you follow Shrimat and go back to the world of happiness. And it's that easy. So, 2500 years of looking in the wrong place, and then you never find Baba, never find what you want from Baba. You never have access to the gifts from your father, the gift of a world of happiness, a world of peace. And then in 1 second, Baba comes and tells you where he is, and he tells you that you just have to remember me and follow my Srimad, and then everything will change in one lifetime. And this is the difference between Ravan Mat and Srimad. And then Baba tells us that you want peace, you want love, you want happiness, you want truth, you want power. So where do you find it? You find it by having Buddhi Yoga with the ocean of peace, love, knowledge, purity, power. You don't find it in this powerless, loveless, peaceless, joyless world. So Baba says that that's where you find it. And you see that I remember there was this one person who told me that I have been wandering in search of peace for the last 30 years. And I have been wandering for peace in, I've been to pilgrimages, I have visited many countries, I have looked for guidance from every religion, and I've tried to go to the quietest places in the world, and I have not found peace. So I said, you have not found peace because you have been looking at the wrong places for until now. And Baba tells us that where is peace? Your Swadharma is peace. Your Baba is the ocean of peace. So just take one moment and sit in peace. Know that you are a soul, you are peace. And know that your Father is the ocean of peace. And just connect your Buddhi Yoga with him. And then you feel peaceful. And then you can make this peace permanent by creating that world of peace and world of happiness by doing seva. So Baba tells us the right address of everything, and Baba stops us from wandering. Until we come to Baba, we keep wandering, and that wandering becomes almost endless, and Baba brings an end to it. But then Baba tells us one very important thing, that I have told you the address of everything right, but in this whole wandering, you have created 63 births of sin, and then that account has to be settled. And specifically Baba says that, you see, because Ravan told you that lust, anger, ego, attachment and greed is the way to find whatever you have been seeking. So you see that Ravan Mat tells you that lust will give you the bliss that you are seeking, or the happiness that you are seeking. And then anger will give you the power, sense of power that you are seeking. And then greed will give you the contentment that you are seeking. And then you see attachment will give you the sense of belonging and love that you're seeking. And then what is left? Ego. So ego will give you that sense of self-worth that you're seeking, that I am and I matter. And because we have been we've been working with this Ravan Mat for 63 births. So you see, when something doesn't give results, you keep doing it, repeating it, almost out of desperation, because it's not giving you what you're seeking. So you are doing it over and over and over again, because you think that everybody is saying you'll find it here, so maybe I'm not doing it enough, or I'm doing it wrong. That's why I'm not finding it. But in that quest, what we did is we engaged in actions which have their seed in lust, anger, ego, attachment, greed, very very intensely for 63 births. And now those sanskars are very deep. And then Baba says, those sanskars are so deep that now they have become what we say are, so those sanskars are part of our attitude and perception right now. So those sanskars determine our attitude and perception right now. And you see that Baba talks about criminal eye and civil eye. So now our eyes are, influenced by those sanskars. And and when we see through that criminal vision, because of that criminal sanskar, then you feel that this is the reality, and how can I respond differently to this reality? So that's what's perpetuating the cycle. So you see, there's this whole cycle of being, doing, and becoming. So when you are vicious, your drishti is vicious, your attitude is vicious, and your action is based on your drishti and attitude. And then you act according to what you see, what is your reality. And then you become as you were. Because you see, if somebody has a sanskar of lust, then they see everything with that lustful vision. And then that lust is triggered and it feels very normal and natural. And then you act out of lust. And then that sanskar of lust gets reinforced again and again. So this is the trap we are in, the trap of being, doing, and becoming. So Ravan makes us somebody we are not, and then we act like we are, and then we become more and more vicious day by day. And that's all because whatever we have done on Ravan Mat for 63 births, now it's a sanskar, and then it's part of our drishti and it's part of our attitude. And I'll tell you one thing. So I saw somebody, and that person, I saw that soul, they could find a reason to get angry in almost everything. They could find a reason to get angry in. I saw that person, once, that they went to they were sitting in the class, and then they went to the washroom, and when they came back, somebody sat on the chair that he was sitting on. And then what he did was, he left the class. He just left the class, and he was so angry. And then next day, I asked him, why did you leave the class in middle? So he said that there is no decorum here, there is no discipline here. And I said, what big act of indiscipline did you encounter? So he said, somebody just sat on my chair. I had just been for a 2-minute break, and then somebody sat on my chair. So I said, but that's not a big deal. So he said, no, it's a big deal. Now, if you want to let go, you can let go of everything, but it's a big deal. Somebody should see that there was something, left on that chair, and I had left my handkerchief behind so that I can come and sit on that chair, and they just shifted that handkerchief. So you see, and then I saw that person, and he could be angry on almost everything, on almost how you are sitting also. and then you see, Baba says that and however much you try to tell that person that it's not like it's not what you are saying, it's something different, but they are so convinced that this is a proper reason to get angry, because that's the drishti and the attitude that's stemming from a sanskar of anger. And Baba says that if you don't check and change this, then this sanskar will make you commit sin over and over and over again, and instead of becoming a charitable soul, a punyatma, we will increasingly become a sinful soul, because we are under the influence of the sanskars we have created in 63 births. So Baba says, now everything that you seeing, you see, Baba gives us the knowledge that the soul is sitting on the seat of the soul behind the eyes. And then you are the one seeing everything, hearing everything, and you are seeing it and hearing it not as it is, but as you are. And this is a very important knowledge that Baba gives us, that whatever the quality of our thoughts, our feelings, the quality of our perception is an indicator of my sanskar, not the seen. And if you look at it, if you want to have a proof of it, the proof is very simple, that you put 100 people in a room, there will be at least one person who can stay absolutely peaceful and happy in the same situation in which you are getting irritated and angry. So that means that that is possible. And how does that one person at least keep peaceful and happy? Because that person has worked on his sanskar. And the first thing is, you have to understand that it's not the situation, it is my perception of the situation which is making me feel what I'm feeling, and it is making me respond the way I'm responding in this situation. So first thing is, so you see that Ravan told you that it's coming from outside, so it has to change from outside. So that is also another big Ravan mat, that because somebody outside is the problem, so the change also has to happen outside. But Srimad tells you that no, it's not the problem with the scene or the behavior, it's a problem with your perception based on your sanskar, your drishti. And if you change your criminal eye to civil eye, then you can feel differently and respond differently in the same scene and situation. And you see, you just look at criminal eye. There is so much criminality, the vision of lust in the eyes, that the eyes immediately see the body. Yes, the body, the looks, the skin, the vision goes on all of that. And then you see, you hear things, see things which only you can hear and see, because that's based on your lustful attitude. And I remember, there was this one sister, and she because there was this one sister and there was another brother, and this brother used to talk politely, and that was his sanskar. He talked politely to everybody. He would be very respectful, very helpful, offering help at every step. And this sister, she started thinking that because he's interested in having a relationship with me, that's why he's being polite and helpful to me. And then you see, she started making advances to that brother and telling him that, I can see that you are interested in me, and don't deny it out of fear, and there is nothing to be afraid. And even if you are a BK, why are you afraid? And I am here and I am extending my hand to you. So why are you afraid? And this brother came running to me and he said, Didi, what is this? And why is this sister after me? And then I made that sister sit down and I told him that, you see, it's not that he's interested in you in a different way. It's just that that's his nature. He's polite, he's respectful, he's helpful. He's polite, respectful, and helpful to everybody, irrespective of the gender and age and, BK, non BK. That's his nature, and don't take it personally. But you see, this sister kept telling me that no, I have seen something which you have not seen. And I know that there is something in his mind which he's just afraid to express. And so I said, you can suit yourself, you can think whatever you want, but this is not going to help you. This will only, make you take sorrow and create hurt. So don't go down that path. But then she kept saying, no, I have seen something. So you see, you have seen something, and that's a reality, because you only see that which is your sanskar. And if you have a sanskar of lust, you will see, advancements in everything, and you will read into signs, and you will read into words, and you will read into gestures, and you will read into so many things. And then your own sanskar of lust is getting triggered, and you see, it takes two to tango. So I always think, and Baba also says, ek haath se to tali nahi bajti na. So I always think that even if somebody has a sanskar of lust, it's not your problem until you have the same sanskar. Because even if they are doing something and they are engaging in some kind of, behavior, or they are giving you some indications, if you don't have the same sanskar, you will not read into it, and you will never have those thoughts. And this is the thing about sanskar. And Baba says that there are many children whose criminal drishti doesn't change even after many years in Gyan. And Baba talks primarily about lust, because you see, lust is like this strong current, and it makes your whole Brahmin journey come to a collapse in 1 second. And that is how lust just, it's like the way Baba overwhelms you, lust also overwhelms you. So it can bring everything to a stop, and you will just stop when, because lust makes you think that this is the way it is going to be, and then you just forget Baba in that wave. So Baba says, when you fall under the influence of lust, then that fall is very great. And Baba always tells us that if there is 5-story building and you fall from the 5th story, that's like falling with the vice of lust. And then 4th story is anger, 3rd is greed, then 2nd is attachment, and 1st is ego. So Baba says you can recover from an attack of ego, but with lust you come into activity, and then it just finishes all your income that you earned on the spiritual path. So Baba tells us to be very wary of this criminal drishti, because it is your drishti that makes you see the other person's indication of lust, and also it's your drishti because of which, even without any such scene in front of you, you create thoughts and feelings of lust. So it's your drishti that's responsible. And this is why Baba tells us that to overcome this vice, what do? You do every action in remembrance of Baba. So, instead of, whenever you are coming into interaction and you are with, other souls who are playing their parts, just come into interaction with everybody in remembrance of Baba. And Baba is the ocean of purity. And when you come into interaction in remembrance of Baba, then you have pure vision, at least at that time. And Baba says, then you will not fall into the trap of lust. And Baba always tells us that all times of the day, at every second of the day, we have to pay attention to be in remembrance of Baba. And Baba's remembrance becomes like this, becomes like this canopy which changes our vision. It becomes like a filter, and through which you see things differently. And you see, Baba is the truth. And I just usually wonder, people are so fixated or so concerned or so interested in the skin. But you see, how much is the skin? The skin is just, 0.0001 millimeter or something. And then what is underneath? It's nothing. It's just a bag of bones and blood and flesh. And then it's the soul that is shining in the center of the forehead. And if you just see everything in remembrance of Baba, then you see that whatever Ravan has taught you to see is just 0.0001% of the reality. And what is the other part of the reality? So the other part of the reality is the soul and this physical body, and in that body also, it's not the body that's attractive, it's just the skin, the frame. And why are we looking at that and getting so attracted and attached to it? So Baba says that when you come into conscious actions and interactions, when you don't allow your sanskar to influence your mind, but rather you come into interaction very consciously in remembrance of Baba, then this vice of lust will not attack you. And then you will be able to be in relationships, do everything, and also gradually create that sanskar of pure vision, and you will be able to overcome that sanskar of lustful vision, and you will have a civil eye. So Baba says this, and then Baba says it is the eyes that are also responsible for anger, ego, attachment, greed. And then you see that it is the sanskar of ego which tells us that, this is a scene of insult, and in this scene you're being insulted, in this scene you're being praised. So praise, insult, fame, defamation, all of this is the drishti of ego, yes, or the hearing based on ego. And if you don't have ego, then you don't see the same thing, same scene as a scene of insult. And you see, Baba says that if you don't check and change your sanskar, then this sanskar will take a very big, horrendous form. And you see, there was this Mata I saw, and she would get very offended at everything. Even while being in Gyan, she would get offended at everything. She would, so if somebody just said that, you gave a very good answer in class, then she would think that this person is making a comment on me. And then she once said that because I stammer, so everybody is telling me that you gave a very good answer in class, because they are actually pointing to my stammering, not to my answer. And I said, no, it's not like that. Everybody is genuinely giving you a compliment, and you gave good answers, so they are complimenting you. So she said, no, you don't know, Didi, people insult in many ways. And then if somebody praised any of her seva, then she would say that, these people are just trying to tell me that, they are better than me, and they are actually pointing faults at me, but they are doing it in a different way. And I used to always wonder, how can somebody just pick offense at everything? And then, finally, what happened? Finally, there was a class where I pointed out something that she had done, and then she got angry on Baba and she stopped coming to the center. And then she said that Didi is passing comments on me, and Didi is being very personal, and Didi is giving personal comments on me, and she's insulting me in front of the whole class. Whereas nobody knew that's it's her that I'm talking about. But she took so much offense that she stopped coming to class, and then she started wandering here and there. So what I'm telling you is, today Baba says that if you have this sanskar of ego, and what is a sign of ego? You can't see ego. How do you detect ego? So the Baba says the indicator of abhiman is apman. So if you feel insulted, if you come into this, if you have this disease of coming into feelings, so that is the sanskar of ego. And Baba says, overcome this sanskar. So whenever you come into action, come in self-worth. So even if somebody is giving you a comment or passing a comment, why do you have to see it as a comment? You take it as a compliment. Yes, can't you do that? Yes, somebody is telling you that you are a really great person, and so you take it, yes, I'm a great person. Why are you thinking that they are saying it in a commenting way, or they are saying something derogatory? You just take it. And then you see, there was somebody who once told me that I think you're just trying to control everything and get hold of everything, and you are a control freak. And then I thought, okay, that's a compliment. Anyways, I want to be the king of Satyug, so everything should be in my control. So I thought that's a compliment and a blessing also. So let it be so, and let me be, in full control of myself, of the world. And why is that a bad thing? It's a good thing. So I just took everything as a compliment. And Baba says, why do you have to get offended at anything? And if you don't stop that sanskar, then eventually that sanskar will take you away from Baba. If you don't allow Baba to change your sanskar, that sanskar will change your relationship with Baba. That's how it works. So, if the sanskar becomes very powerful, it will intervene in your relationship with Baba also, because it changes your drishti. You can't even see who is talking, what is the intention. Baba is not telling you something, or the nimit is never telling you anything because they have a problem with it. They only point out when they have this good wish that you should change it. But if you take offenses at that, and Baba gives an example today that some people will say that Baba shared this about me in the class, and then Baba didn't think about my honor, and Baba insulted me. And these things happened with Sakar Brahma Baba also. And then they would stop coming to the class. But Baba says, Ravan insults you. I don't insult you. I tell you everything, even if something is directly pointed out, if you take it as a shiksha from Baba, a learning from Baba, then you will reform it and you will advance in your spiritual journey because of that. But Baba says it is Ravan that has been taking away your honor for 2500 births, 2500 years. I am not taking away your honor. I am not insulting you. So, but if you have that ego, a sanskar of ego, then you will see everything and hear everything as an act, a word of insult. And I remember there was this one time when there was this one person who came and sat, and I came and sat on a seat which was a little far away from that person, and they immediately said, "Why are you choosing to sit so far away? You think I'm an untouchable?" So I said, "Where should I sit? Where do you expect me to sit?" So you see that somebody randomly chooses a place to sit, and you feel offended that somebody is treating you like an untouchable because they are sitting at a distance. And I told them, it is our maryada to sit at a distance. We don't sit at a distance because there's a problem with you. No. So Baba says that, if you have this vision of ego, you can take insult at anything. If you have a vision of attachment, you can read into people's messages and get emotional about it all the time. But it doesn't mean, it was never emotional. It was just, a plain statement. Whether you can, when you have the sanskar of attachment, you can read into people's messages, whether it is verbal, written, or through acts. You can read into them in an over emotional way. You can create a lot of hurt, you can create a lot of love unnecessarily. So you are doing all that because that's your sanskar. It's not because really that person is doing that, or that's what they mean. And I remember, there was this one Mata who used to tell me, whenever I write something to my husband on WhatsApp, he will say, "We'll talk later, we'll talk later." And that's so offensive, that's so insulting. So I said, "But he must be busy. So he comes back home, right? You talk to him every day." So she said, "Yes, but whenever he writes, I will talk later, I feel that he's cheating on me and he's not giving me time, he's avoiding me, he's fed up of me." So I said, "Don't think then." It's not about what he's doing, it's about what you're thinking. So Baba says that this is the way our sanskars are messing up with us. And if we don't practice soul consciousness, if we don't do everything in remembrance of Baba, then these sanskars are going to create a very big account of sin on our part and gradually wean us away from Baba. Okay, Om Shanti.